Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're getting into some disturbing dark web Reddit.
Reddit is home to some of the most disturbing stories imaginable. I thought today, with the help of my friend Snook,
Hey, what's up guys, it's Nook.
we could take a look at some of the highlights from the r/unresolved mysteries subreddit. If you enjoy content like this and would like to see more, please make sure to subscribe to Something Sinister. On the morning of August 24th, 1933, 10-year-old Walter Robinson walked alone towards the Newton Welding and Machine Shop located in downtown Newton, Iowa. He arrived to find his 51-year-old father, Leonard Robinson, hard at work welding a set of custom hooks for a customer. Walter approached Leonard and casually asked where the family car was. Learning that his older brother, Melvin, had taken it, Walter lingered in the doorway for just a moment before heading back outside without saying another word. The brief exchange would sadly be the last time Leonard ever saw his son. When Leonard clocked out for lunch just a short time later, Walter, who normally walked home with him, was nowhere to be found. Leonard, accompanied by his wife, 52-year-old Beryl Robinson, conducted a brief search of the neighborhood, but found no sign of Walter. When he failed to return home that night, the Robinsons reported Walter missing. Suspicion immediately fell upon the customers Leonard had been making the hooks for, a small band of Romani travelers who had been camping in the area for several days. The group had come into the shop on their way out of town to request custom luggage hooks for their 1927 Buick. According to Leonard, the group left in a hurry as soon as the job was finished, just minutes before Walter vanished. The five-person group were described as a darker complexion, heavy-set man named Fastilia, a woman, a sullen teenage boy, a young girl, and a white infant. A massive search for Walter and the group quickly ensued. The town and its surrounding fields were searched. Motorists were stopped and questioned. Nearby Romani camps were raided. But no trace of Walter or the five-person group was found. As word spread of Walter's disappearance, a flood of tips came pouring in. Most were alleged sightings of Walter, sometimes alone, but oftentimes alongside Romani travelers. These leads sent investigators across state lines into Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana. Unfortunately, the search resulted in no new leads. Meanwhile, just across town, Mrs. W.G. Kramer, a new resident in Newton, was doing some detective work on her own. Upon hearing about Walter's disappearance, Mrs. Kramer, a stay-at-home wife and mother, resorted to asking her Ouija board for help locating the missing boy. According to her, the session went as follows. Question: who stole Walter Robinson? Answer: gypsies. Are they along the river? Yes. Answer: Vanderveer Park, Davenport. Unprompted. Though she was initially hesitant, Mrs. Kramer ultimately felt compelled to contact the Robinsons with this new lead. Perhaps driven by desperation, the Robinsons did not question the validity of Mrs. Kramer's claims. Instead, Beryl immediately went out and purchased a Ouija board of her own. Although the board did not seem to work for her, it allegedly did for her two daughters. According to the Robinson girls, their session went as follows. Question: where is Walter? Answer: Yellow Hill, Moline. Is he okay? Yes. Should we search for him? Yes. Should Leonard go on the search? No. Should Melvin, Harold, and Leonard Jr. go on the search? Yes. Who else? Red McCullis, a family friend. Following the Ouija board's directions, Melvin, Harold, Leonard Jr., and Red set off for Moline, Illinois. Upon their arrival, they spoke to several locals who claimed to have seen Walter in the company of a group of travelers days earlier, reportedly heading toward Coal Valley, Illinois. This pattern continued for days as the search party trailed from town to town across Iowa, Indiana, and Illinois, always seemingly just one step behind the alleged kidnappers. The trail ultimately went cold in Alpha, Illinois. There, a woman living on the outskirts of the town reported that a boy matching Walter's description had come to her door begging for food just 2 days earlier. She said that he was in the company of a small group of travelers. When asked to describe him, she said that he was thin and dirty, but he was polite and soft-spoken. She said that he had blue eyes, stood approximately 4'7", was barefoot, and dressed in a pair of blue rodeo overalls and had a blue shirt. The outfit she described was the same clothing that Walter had been wearing on the day that he had vanished. Unfortunately, the woman could not tell the brothers which direction the boy or his companions had gone. Overwhelmed by the endless possibilities, the search party returned home to Iowa empty-handed. In an effort to generate new leads, the mayor of Newton offered a $100 reward to anyone with information that would lead to Walter's whereabouts. Federal agents also joined the search, exhausting every available lead. Yet, despite their efforts, no trace of Walter was ever found. Leonard and Beryl conducted several searches of their own, traveling across the state to follow up on potential sightings of their son. When this tactic failed, Beryl resorted to visiting fortune tellers and psychics who continually assured her that Walter would be found soon. Sadly, that day never came. In one final interview from the shop where he worked, Leonard reflected on the agony of the search, saying, "I don't know how I'll stand it much longer. Sometimes I think I might be better to take this old apron off and just crawl on my hands and knees all over this world looking for my little boy." Locals noted he appeared to have aged a decade in the short time since his son's disappearance. All of Walter's family passed away without ever getting the answers they so desperately sought. Leonard Robinson passed away from lung cancer in 1948 at the age of 66. Beryl Robinson died in 1960 at the age of 78, and all 10 of Walter's siblings have also since passed. In 2001, a granddaughter of Walter's brother, Melvin, turned to a genealogy forum to ask for help solving a mystery that had haunted her family for generations. Sadly, her plea went unanswered. To my knowledge, Walter is not currently listed on any missing persons databases, though I have begun the process to add this case to NamUs and other relevant registries. Once officially registered, Walter's disappearance will stand as the oldest unsolved missing persons case in the state of Iowa.
On the evening of August 5th, 1982, Father Rinaldo John Rivera, a 57-year-old Franciscan priest serving at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi in Santa Fe, New Mexico, received a telephone call at the rectory. The man, who identified himself as Michael Carmelo, said his grandfather was dying near a rest stop in Waldo and needed the last rites. Another priest answered first but declined because of poor eyesight. Rivera took the second call and agreed to go. The caller said he would be waiting in a blue pickup truck. Days later, Rivera's body was found several miles from the rest stop, lying in a muddy field near the Waldo exit on Interstate 25. He had been shot once in the stomach and strangled with a metal cord, possibly a coat hanger. His brown 1974 Chevrolet Malibu was discovered abandoned, out of gas, at the rest stop on Interstate 40 near Grants. His last rites kit was never recovered. The FBI produced a psychological profile and concluded the motive was revenge. A recent parolee and a former Santa Fe resident were considered suspects but ruled out. Almost 2 years later, on July 20th, 1984, Father John Patrick Kerrigan, a 58-year-old diocesan priest newly assigned to Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Ronan, Montana, left a bakery in downtown Ronan and was never seen again. He failed to appear for the 6:30 a.m. Mass the next day. On July 29th, bloodied articles of clothing and a blood-stained coat hanger were found along Montana Highway 35 on the shores of Flathead Lake near Polson. The following day, his vehicle, also a brown Chevrolet Malibu, was located several miles away. In the trunk were his wallet containing $1,200 in cash, a blood-stained shovel, and a pillowcase. Kerrigan's remains have never been recovered. New Mexico authorities noted similarities. Both men were about 58. Both drove brown Malibus. The vehicles were driven away from the crime scenes, and coat hangers appeared in both cases. Kerrigan had spent nearly a year at the Congregation of the Servants of the Parklet in Yemez Springs, New Mexico. In 1983, a retreat for clergy with personal difficulties, substance abuse, or misconduct. No evidence was found that the two men ever knew each other. In 1988, the cases were featured together on Unsolved Mysteries. In 2015, Kerrigan appeared on the Diocese of Helena's list of clergy implicated in the SA of minors. In 2020, an author who obtained the lead detective's notes suggested Kerrigan may have staged his own death. In 2022, Lieutenant Gilbert Ulibarri, who had earlier felt a connection, stated he no longer believes the crimes are related. Rivera's case remains open with the New Mexico State Police Cold Case Unit.
The Butcher of Mons was a serial killer who was active in Mons, Belgium from 1996 to 1997. The murders of at least 5 victims were never solved, and the perpetrator was never identified. The first 3 victims disappeared in 1996. All 3 women lived in the margins of society. Initially, the media paid little attention to the disappearances of these women. It was only after human remains were discovered and 2 more women disappeared in 1997 that the investigation gained momentum. The Belgian police were assisted by the FBI during the investigation. On the 22nd of March in 1997, police officer Olivier Mott accidentally discovered several rubbish bags containing human remains while on patrol on horseback. At first, he assumed that the bags contained illegal waste dumping, until he noticed a bloody hand protruding from one of the bags. Later, police found more bags containing body parts in the area around Mons. In total, 37 different body parts belonging to 5 victims were recovered. There are many rumors that the Butcher of Mons could have been Claude Pierret, also known as the Monster of Wasland, a man who committed 2 murders during roughly the same period. However, Pierret murdered 2 women whom he personally knew, and he had no clear connection to the Mons region, which made it less likely that he was the butcher. Another important difference is the method used. Pierret mutilated his victims, but his actions appeared to be more impulsive and driven by sadistic desires. The mutilations carried out by the Butcher of Mons appeared to be more precise and were likely intended to make identification more difficult, especially since body parts from multiple victims were often placed together in the same garbage bag. These bags were left in carefully chosen locations, such as the River Haine, or Hatred, alongside the Road of Anxiety and the intersection of Depot Street, Leg Street, and Hostages Quay. With the few clues available, an FBI profiler eventually developed a profile of the killer. It clearly concluded that he was neither a butcher nor a surgeon, contrary to what had initially been suspected. The dismemberment was not professional enough. On one of the recovered femurs, the killer had to saw in 3 different places before finding the correct spot. The profile suggested that he was likely around 40 years old, lived alone in a spacious residence where he could act without being disturbed, owned a car, and was familiar with the local area. It was of little practical help to investigators, however, since every village contained dozens of men who fit that description. Moreover, the investigation, codenamed Corpus, Latin for body, was far from a textbook example of how a murder inquiry should be conducted. Valuable evidence was lost. Neighborhood inquiries were carried out too late and too superficially, and even the forensic pathologist made some serious mistakes. When the FBI tipped off the Corpus Task Force one day, alarm bells immediately went off in Mons. A man named Smail Tulja, who had used several aliases, was considered a possible suspect. In the late 1980s, Tulja murdered his girlfriend, the wealthy 61-year-old widow, Mary Beale, in Brooklyn. He dismembered her body, hid some of the remains beneath the floorboards of her home, and disposed of the rest in garbage bags before emptying her bank account and disappearing without a trace. The 67-year-old Montenegrin later fled, according to American investigators, to Belgium and settled in the Mons region under a false name. This was exactly during the period when the serial killer of Mons was active. After he eventually moved to Albania, 2 dismembered female murder victims were discovered there in 2006. Albanian police asked the American Embassy Regional Security Office for assistance, who coordinated with the FBI, resulting in a chain of events that did not solve the Albanian deaths, but did link the NYPD to the FBI investigation and Tulja's 2007 arrest in Montenegro by local authorities. Montenegro had declared independence in 2006 and did not yet have an extradition treaty with the US. As a result, the Montenegrin court system tried Tulja for Beale's murder in New York City, convicting him in June of 2010 and sending him to jail for 12 years a few weeks later. Tulja died in 2012 without ever being held to court for the Mons murders. No one knows whether the Butcher of Mons is still alive today, who he really is, or why he suddenly stopped after his 5th murder in 1997. And the question of why he targeted only women living on the margins of society may forever remain a mystery. Unless someone finally decides to speak out after all these years, the coldest case in Belgium could still be discovered. There is still a chance, as the case will not officially expire until 2027.
On Friday, March 1st, 1974, 37-year-old Kay O'Connor was brutally murdered in the kitchen of her home on Wickham Road, Colchester, Essex. The crime shocked the town at the time and, more than 50 years later, remains unsolved. Kay worked as a shorthand typist and lived with her husband, Tony O'Connor, on Wickham Road. Her mother lived just 2 doors away. That day, she was off work. In the morning, she went shopping on nearby Butt Road, then called in her mother, and afterwards went to the post office to collect her mother's pension. She returned home at around 2:30 p.m. Between approximately 2:30 p.m. and 4:10 p.m., someone entered the house from the rear. The killer approached via a back alley, smashed the glass of the back door, and got inside. It is unknown whether he was already waiting inside or broke in after Kay arrived. In the kitchen, Kay was beaten and strangled. Some of her clothing was removed, and she was stabbed twice. Her body was found next to a bloodied kitchen knife. Nothing was stolen from the house, and the police never established a clear motive. Neighbors heard a disturbance, went to check, and discovered the body. The killer had already fled. The initial investigation was extensive. More than 2,000 statements were taken, and 339 people were questioned. Her husband, Tony, who was working in London that day,
it's working.
was initially
Weird.
treated as a
Been talking to
suspect,
myself
but
like a
quickly
fucking
cleared.
moron the entire
The
time.
1974
Great.
inquest
Lovely.
found that Kay had been strangled, her clothes removed, and then stabbed. The case went cold for decades. In 2004
was
through
maybe
2005,
I
there
didn't
were fresh
either.
appeals and a partial reinvestigation.
Got her gaming
including
set up yet?
talk of
A gaming rig?
re-examining forensic evidence.
Little
But no
headphones.
major public breakthroughs
Little
followed.
mouse.
In 2018, a woman, then aged 73, and a former ward sister at Turner Village Hospital, came forward for the first time.
What are you up to?
She said that a few weeks after the murder, one of her colleagues, charge nurse Patrick Marin, then in his 50s, had privately confessed to her in her office that he was the killer. According to the woman,
It's
Moran
Friday night.
looked gaunt,
Gotta cut loose.
cried, and told her, "It was me who did that." There had been workplace gossip that the police had questioned him. She did not report it at the time because she feared losing her job and not being believed. Only decades later, driven by guilt, did she speak out. Police confirmed that Moran had since died, so there was no possibility of prosecution.
Satisfying.
Detective Inspector Stuart Truss of the Kent and Essex Serious Crime Directorate said the case had recently been reviewed and there were no further active lines of inquiry, although the force continues to assess the forensic evidence with modern techniques. To this day, the murder of Kay O'Connor remains officially unsolved. It is still unknown whether Patrick Moran was genuinely responsible or whether the confession was false. Anyone with information can contact the Essex Police Cold Case Team on 101 or Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111.
I thought this was gonna be like...
The unsolved murder of Julie Pacey took place on September 26, 1994,
I like listening to weird
in Grantham,
Reddit threads,
Lincolnshire,
but this is
England,
just
and remains one of the
bunch
most
of-
intriguing cold cases in the United Kingdom. Julie was born around 1955 or 1956. She was 38 years old and a mother of two. She was married for 18 years to Andrew Pacey, her childhood sweetheart from the age of 8. They lived in a luxury bungalow at 30 Longcliff Road in the peaceful Manthorpe area. Julie worked part-time at the local St. Peter's Day nursery on St. Catherine's Road, right opposite the town's police headquarters. She was described by family, neighbors, and the press as a vivacious blonde and perfect mom, extremely attractive, popular, kind, caring, considerate, and completely devoted to her family. Andrew worked for a long-established plumbing business in town. The couple had a 14-year-old daughter, Helen, and an 11-year-old son, Matthew. The family saw themselves as an ordinary
I may
and
play Overwatch
unremarkable,
here in a little.
as Andrew later stated on Crime Watch. Several suspicious
Been doing
incidents
pretty well
preceded the
lately.
murder. On Friday, September 23rd of 1994, around 3:30 p.m., a local girl who regularly went
Now
to
that
the
I say
Pacey
that, I'm
home
gonna
after
fucking-
school to wait for her mother saw a strange man wearing blue overalls enter the driveway. The man, described as chubby, around 35 years old, with a big round and notably red ruby face, rough hands, and brown workman's boots, walked back out when the girl approached. Julie, upon letting the girl in, confirmed that the man had knocked on the door, entered the house, and asked for directions to Eskdale Road. This witness later helped police create a detailed artist's impression of the individual, who became known as the Overalls Man. On the day of the murder, Monday, September
They are
26th,
not
Julie
very
left home for work around
creative
10
in their
a.m.
name.
She returned in the family Audi around 2:45 p.m. About half an hour later, she left again to go shopping and was seen driving along Highcliffe Road near her home. At the time, the same man in blue overalls was seen walking along the road. He stepped out in front of her car, nearly causing an accident. After Julie passed, he suddenly turned and ran in the direction her car had gone. Multiple witnesses also reported sightings of a dark BMW 5 Series in the area in the days before, including one parked next to the Pacey family's Audi.
I
in
don't want
their
to go to work
driveway.
tomorrow.
The
It's only
family
for like
always
3 hours.
insisted that Julie did not drive or have access to such a car, but the accounts came from people who knew her well. The murder occurred between approximately 3:20 p.m. and 4:15 p.m. Around 4:15 p.m., daughter Helen arrived home from school and discovered her mother dead in front of the first-floor bathroom. Julie had been strangled with a cord. She was fully clothed.
Julie had been
though
sexually
some
assaulted,
items of clothing were
strangled
disarranged.
with a cord.
There were no signs of forced entry
I'm
and
not
little
monetized on
evidence of a
YouTube.
prolonged
Matter to me.
struggle. Her beautifully manicured nails were unbroken. Police theorized that the attacker may have entered easily because Julie
I think
left her
it's
keys
stupid
in
that
the lock
YouTube
upon
censors
returning
that shit.
home. Only one item was
Or
reported missing
demonetizes
from
you.
the house. A watch that she had recently bought on holiday for the equivalent of about 10 pounds. The watch has never been recovered and is believed to have been taken by the killer. The overalls man was sighted by numerous witnesses around the estate and in Grantham between the 22nd and 27th of September. On the morning after the murder, at around 9 a.m., he was even seen kicking at the grass as if searching for something. Later, he entered a shop in the town center, still wearing the blue overalls and behaving in a highly suspicious manner. He had asked various people for directions to different locations, including a distant industrial site, but had never asked them to repeat the instructions. Police distributed the artist's impression to every house on the estate, and exactly 1 week after the murder, stopped more than 500 people walking or driving along Longcliffe Road for information. The case received major publicity with an appeal on the BBC program Crime Watch in November of 1994. In 2001, investigators examined possible links, without a definitive conclusion, to the murder of 21-year-old Sharon Harper 4 months earlier in the same town. Harper was also strangled and beaten. This was part of the wider national Operation Enigma into unsolved murders of women in the UK during the 1990s. In 2015, the case returned to Crime Watch with a second appeal, 21 years after the original. Scientists had successfully created a full DNA profile of the perpetrator using the advanced DNA 17 technique, described as a landmark forensic breakthrough. The DNA matched no one on the UK National DNA Database. Police publicly appealed for names of potential suspects to compare against the profile and directly asked the overalls man to come forward so that he could be eliminated via DNA. Interestingly, the actor who had played the killer in the original 1994 reconstruction, a man named Steve Watson, was briefly investigated after the reappeal because confused viewers called in to name him as the real perpetrator. Police took his DNA, which fully cleared him. To this day, the exact motive remains unclear, although there was a clear element. Investigators believe it was a premeditated attack on Julie, who had no known enemies and led an ordinary family life. The overalls man remains the prime suspect, and if still alive, would be in his mid to late 60s today. The family, particularly the daughter who had found the body, continues to live with trauma of an unresolved case. Lincolnshire police continue to appeal for information.
Why is that so satisfying?
Hello, everyone. As always, thank you for all your comments and votes under my last post about the Middlesex County John Doe. I hope that he will be identified soon. Today, I'd like to highlight the disappearance case.
It's part of the
Background. Robert Alexander Alex Easterling was 30 when he went missing from Pickens, Mississippi, USA. One article noted that he was a young father, but no details were given about this part of his life. Disappearance. Alex was last seen on the 20th of April at 8:15 p.m. on Stockyard Road in Pickens. His mother, Ashley E. Martin, had picked Alex from jail and then dropped him off at his acquaintance's house at Alex's request. Alex's mother had a bad feeling about the place they arrived at and later described it as a chop shop. Before he left, Alex asked his mother to text him when she came home so that he'd know that she returned safely. Ashley kept her promise and both called and texted Alex, but received no reply. When there was still no word back from Alex by the next morning, Ashley knew that something was wrong. After Alex was reported missing, Ashley learned how to analyze phone data from a friend who was involved in law enforcement. According to that data, Alex was on his friend's porch, and then minutes later, the phone appeared to stay in one spot. According to the interpretation of data from Alex's phone, he then ran off the back porch and fell flat. The next phone ping was sent at 12:23 a.m., and it came from across the street from the friend's residence. A search party with dogs was meant to search the friend's property, but the friend revoked his permission after he initially granted it. It doesn't seem like any physical clues were found during the search. Conclusion. The info I'll give below comes from Alex's Web Sleuths thread from a user claiming to be Ashley. This user has not been verified, so we can't be 100% sure that it is indeed Ashley, but I still found the details provided notable enough to include. Approach these with a grain of salt. Alex was in jail due to an outstanding warrant in Hinds County from 2020 for grand larceny. He was arrested on the 16th of February. His charge was reduced to a misdemeanor, and Alex was released from the Pretrial Intervention Program, PTI. Alex has struggled with substance abuse for
this place is
years
huge
before he went missing. His larceny charge was a result of that. Ashley didn't know it at the time, but the house she dropped Alex at belonged to a known drug dealer. She said that the place looked shady and like a junkyard with old cars everywhere.
I'm hungry because I didn't eat dinner.
Floodlights, etc. An officer went to the friend's house on the 22nd to talk to him about Alex's disappearance. The friend claimed that Alex did come by that evening and that the two talked on the porch. Alex allegedly asked the friend to give him some phone numbers, as he had a brand new phone with no new contacts. The friend allegedly went inside to grab his phone, and when he returned,
thinking on my
Alex
next paycheck, I might get a new.
When Ashley's father went to talk with the friend a bit later on the 22nd, he said that he went inside to put on a t-shirt, and when he came back, Alex was gone. Even later on the 22nd, a deputy came by to the friend
They're only
to talk
gonna get
about
more
Alex.
expensive from
The
here.
friend claimed that he went in to grab a cigarette, and when he came back, Alex was gone. The friend gave 3 slightly different versions of the story overall. He hasn't been questioned by the police in an official capacity, at least by the 12th of July, 2022. No idea if that has changed since. The area where Alex went missing was looked through using drones and sniffer dogs on the 27th and 28th of April 2022. The friend had denied them access to the property at first, but then changed his mind. The dogs immediately hit Alex's scent and led the handlers from the front gate straight to the front porch. The dogs then tried to lead the handlers to the back of the house, but the friend said that Alex didn't go back there and didn't want to let them through. A deputy was called during the search, but once he arrived at the property, he didn't even exit his car and didn't acknowledge Ashley, her husband, or her father, who were also at the scene. The friend who owned the house that Alex was last seen at is considered a person of interest. There is a $10,000 reward for any info in Alex's case. Robert Alexander Alex Easterlin was 30 when he went missing and would be 34 now. He is a white man, 5'9", 69 inches, 175 centimeters, and 160 pounds, 73 kilograms. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. He has a large cross tattoo on his back. He was last seen wearing a black t-shirt with a white Egyptian design on the front, blue jeans, and military-style boots. If you have any info about Alex's whereabouts, contact the Holmes County Sheriff's Department at 662-834-1511. Case number 289622 HSO.
Knowledge of that. That's it, okay. This government raffle.
In the road to 270, Donald Trump at 214, Harris now with...
On November 5th, 2024, approximately 42.3 million viewers tuned in to various TV broadcasts to view coverage of the United States presidential election. As I'm sure you're aware, the race was between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. Though the votes coming in were initially in favor of Harris, Trump would end up winning in the end. Following the transition of power in January of 2025, the new president and his administration began putting into play one of the most extensive reforms in recent U.S. political history. Some of these changes are things that we've talked about on the channel before, such as budgetary cuts made to programs like the CDC and a withdrawal from the World Health Organization. But this also includes things that you've probably heard about, like imposed tariffs on foreign trade, downsizing the Department of Education, and, of course, a complete revamp of the White House social media accounts. These accounts included X, an Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok page. Even if you're like me and you've decided to take a step back from politics following the previous election, you've probably seen news stories regarding some of the questionable content being posted to these official pages. This includes things like a video in which footage of the US bombing Iran is edited to look like a Call of Duty match. As each of the vehicles are destroyed, the editors even added points like you'd see after getting a kill in a Call of Duty match. Or what about the now deleted video in which former President Barack Obama and his wife are depicted in a racially insensitive manner? They're shown in a jungle alongside a number of other political figures who are all edited to look like various animals. Trump himself is shown to be a lion, or the king of the jungle, as specified by the White House press secretary. But the extent of these changes doesn't end here.
The end of August.
If you visit the official White House website, you can find various pages that contain comprehensive breakdowns of what the White House refers to as media bias, and specifically an archive dedicated to leftist influencers. Now, I think it's no secret by this point that some news outlets tend to lean one way or the other, but these archives exclusively contain instances of bias that only pertain to the current sitting president. As if this media bias doesn't affect anyone or anything else. It could be something as simple as a claim that the president was in the hospital before Easter when he actually wasn't, or something like leftists lying about Trump's restructuring of the Forest Service. But as nitpicky as these details may seem, they're all working towards something, altering the public's perception of the president, making it seem like he's great in every way imaginable and that he can do no wrong. But what if I told you that this is a tactic utilized by some of the most corrupt government organizations in the world? And
I
that
would not be
there are
surprised,
actually a
because I already
number
know.
of more obscure stories out there in which a government-run account was used to hurt the people that it was meant to serve. Russia, 2015. On the outskirts of St. Petersburg sits a seemingly normal office building. Lyudmila Savchuk, a working journalist, has just accepted a job here, one that is not as it seems. As she arrives for her first day of work, Lyudmila can't help but notice an unsettling detail. Despite the office being covered in windows from top to bottom, every single one of them has been concealed from the inside. The company operating out of this building is known simply as the Internet Research Agency. As Lyudmila makes her way through the mysterious
Alright.
office building, she passes a number of other workers sitting in front of computers, typing away. Despite appearing vacant from the outside, the agency actually runs a consecutive 24 hours a day. The day shift works from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, and the night shift works from 9 to 6 in the morning. As Lyudmila sits down in front of her computer and prepares for her first day on the job, the monitor in front of her displays a list of items that she must complete before the day is over. The first on that list is to create a social media profile in order to spread negative publicity about Ukraine. At the time Lyudmila began working for the Internet Research Agency, Russia was busy fighting a war with their neighboring country of Ukraine. The conflict was sparked when Russian forces tried to gain control of a region located in eastern Ukraine. This conflict naturally divided many Russian citizens, some of which thought that Russia's invasion of the
Getting
region
there.
was justified, whereas others thought that the drawn-out conflict was causing more harm than good.
Getting
The
there.
divisive nature of the conflict was enough to become a concern to the Russian government, who quickly needed a way to convince detractors of the war that the country was making the right decision to invade Ukraine. So, what was the best
That's
way to do that?
lots of propaganda.
The so-called Internet Research Agency Lyudmila was working for, as she would later discover, was actually just a front put on by the Russian government for something much darker. Each of the employees tapping away day and night at their computers were all doing so with the intent of carrying out the desires of the country's leaders. In the case of the Ukraine conflict, each of the agency employees were tasked with creating fake profiles on various social media pages across the internet. They would then use these pages to comment on trending posts regarding Ukraine and would speak in favor of the invasion. The idea was that by seeing these accounts showing their support, legitimate users online would eventually become more and more inclined to support the war effort. But it didn't stop here. As Lyudmila sat in front of her screen, carrying out her checklist of items for the day, she began making detailed notes as to what exactly was happening inside the building. During her 2 months working for the agency, she estimated that there was a total of 300 or so total employees. With each passing shift, these 300 were sending out thousands and thousands of posts. And what's even more disturbing is that these individuals weren't just in charge of swaying Russian public opinion of the war, they were also creating accounts to interfere with events happening all over the world.
Leslie Rhodes cuts a lonely figure walking home across Westminster Bridge on a drizzly March day. A journey that should have been ordinary turned out to be anything but. Just moments after CCTV captured him weaving through the crowds, the pensioner was hit by Khalid Massoud's car in an act of terror.
On March 22nd, 2017, roughly 50 individuals crossing the Westminster Bridge in London were injured in a terrorist attack. The man you've just seen walking in particular, a 75-year-old man named Leslie Rhodes, was dragged over 100
Pretty
feet
good for
by a
75.
rogue vehicle before succumbing to his injuries. The vehicle in question was a rented Hyundai Tucson. In recovered footage, you can see the vehicle make its way across the bridge at a high speed. And though the footage is grainy and it's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on, the car has just mounted the sidewalk and is driving into oncoming pedestrians. From here, the vehicle crashed into railings on the north side of the bridge. The man driving proceeded to crawl out of the wreckage before running into Parliament Square and stabbing a police officer. He was then gunned down. The man responsible for carrying out this act of terror would be identified as Khalid Massoud. The following investigation would reveal that Khalid had ties to Islamic extremist ideology, with an Islamic State news agency later claiming that Khalid was one of their soldiers. This event naturally sent the United Kingdom into a state of fear, with many believing that another attack could be imminent. And in some of the darkest corners of the internet, seeds were already in the process of being planted. This post made to Twitter following the bridge attack reads, "Muslim woman pays no mind to terror attack, casually walking by a dying man while checking phone." The photograph in reference shows a person lying on the ground following Khalid's attack. On the right side of the photograph is a woman wearing a headscarf. The tweet itself would gain over 1,600 retweets and 1,800 likes. The hashtag used beneath the caption, "Ban Islam," was just the start of an online movement born from the Westminster tragedy, one that had a single goal in mind: spreading the message that Muslims were no longer welcome in Britain. But as more tweets under the hashtag started being posted alongside Lone Star, some disturbing information was discovered. When taking a closer look at this profile, the one making the anti-Islam remarks, some things didn't add up. The account itself, prior to being deleted, was dedicated to commenting exclusively on the Westminster tragedy. Not to mention that these old screenshots show the grainy image of a man wearing a cowboy hat, his alt-right views expressed unashamedly in his bio, which read, "Proud Texan and American Patriot." This naturally made people wonder, why was this proud American so invested in something happening outside of his country? Posts like these weren't just created for the sake of an angry rant. These were calculated. It's estimated that Lone Star had made approximately 4,000 tweets on the subject of Islam and terrorist attacks throughout Europe. And something wasn't right about this. Eventually, in the summer
There
of
are weird people out there.
2017, the account seemingly vanished. As it turned out, Lone Star wasn't the proud patriot and Texan he claimed to be.
We're
In
getting
fact,
there.
Twitter discovered that his account wasn't American at all. Cardiff University's Crime and Security Research Institute had found that accounts like Lone Star were what they referred to as sock puppet accounts, or accounts that appear to belong to someone but are instead a fake profile. Following the terror attack on the Westminster Bridge, the university analyzed an estimated millions of posts and comments before coming to the conclusion that Lone Star's account, as well as a suspected 70 others, were created with the sole intent of swaying public opinion against Muslims and the Middle East. But who exactly was behind these accounts?
Search eight.
The Russian Internet Research Agency. The mysterious building tucked away on the outskirts of St. Petersburg. The same one with the windows drawn, with hundreds of employees typing away at their computers inside day and night. My name is
Can you
Lidman.
imagine working at a place like that?
I am a journalist and I live in St. Petersburg. A while ago, I started to get interested in so-called troll factories, and I decided to investigate the phenomenon from the inside. I was offered the job by a former colleague of mine, who I had worked with on a local newspaper. Before I got the job, I began posting neutral messages on my social media profiles, and fewer of the activist messages I had been posting before. Then ads started to appear in my feed, looking for educated Russians who wanted to work in the creative industry. My former colleague told me what the ads were about and got me the job. She told me that it was a secret project at a secret location and for a secret organization, which I was not allowed to talk about. Later, she used to joke that Peter the Great had opened the gateway to Europe by founding St. Petersburg, and through this gateway, we were now pouring shit into the minds of Europeans. It's sad, but Russian journalists have split into two camps, and she was now working with propaganda. These passages were taken directly from Lidmila's website. She had accepted the job at the Internet Research Agency with the sole intention of recording her experience there in order to later expose it to the public.
Thing to do.
She refers to the building itself as a troll factory, a term that has been widely adopted when describing settings like these, in which individuals work as professional, well, internet trolls. Through Lidmila's discoveries, not only did she expose the fact that the Internet Research Agency was working under the Russian government to sway the political spectrum, but also in other parts of the world, like Europe's perception of the Middle East, as well as the United States presidential election. So, according to the United States House of Representatives Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, try saying that 10 times fast. Basically, following the 2016 presidential election, there were at least 3 Russian organizations found whose goal was to interfere with the United States presidential electoral process. The article then goes on to state that regarding Russian groups like this, defendants posing as United States persons and creating false U.S. personas operated social media pages and groups designed to attract U.S. audiences. These groups and pages which addressed divisive U.S. political and social issues falsely claimed to be controlled by U.S. activists when, in fact, they were controlled by defendants. And if it's not clear, defendants is Russia. Defendants also used the stolen identities of real U.S. persons to post on organization-controlled social media accounts. Over time, these social media accounts became defendants' means to reach significant numbers of Americans for purposes of interfering with the United States political system, including the presidential election of 2016. As the rest of the article continues, they call out the Russian Internet Research Agency, basically referring to them as a troll farm who posted derogatory information about a number of candidates, and by early to mid-2016, the operations included supporting the presidential campaign of then-candidate Donald J. Trump and disparaging Hillary Clinton. I know that was a lot. Not only is this discovery very intriguing in general, but it's also very timely given that recent random address to the nation that Trump made regarding how our current electoral process is not as good as it should be. Now, he was referencing the 2020 election between him and Joe Biden, which he still claims was stolen. But basically, in that speech, he was saying that foreign countries had interfered with the 2020 election, and that's why he didn't win. But according to this website, the Russian government had apparently purchased over 3,393 advertisements that roughly 11.4 million American users on Facebook were exposed to. This was leading up to that 2016 election. And basically, the list goes on as well, showing more troll farm accounts on Twitter, tweeting about the US election at the time. But the bottom line is the Russian Internet Research Agency that was exposed through Lidmilla's discoveries wasn't just in charge of affecting perception of Russian citizens, but also events happening outside of Russia, like different countries, including the United States. And I think perhaps what is one of the most disturbing revelations of this Russian troll farm is that it is not the only one of its kind. In fact, there are an undisclosed amount of troll farms operating throughout the world.
I'm sure we have them
There
here in
are
the
an
US as well.
unspecified number of troll factories currently operating within Russia, as well as other countries across the world. A big one in particular with its own secret ties to Russia itself. In 2016, a Russian company known as Entech Lab began putting together a software known as FindFace. The app was initially created as a tool to help identify people in pictures by cross-referencing their photographs across Russian social media platforms. However, as time went on, the company's seemingly innocent app became a tool for something much darker. The technology, which was one of the most advanced in facial recognition at the time, naturally caught the attention of surveillance companies who intended to use the software as a means of identifying criminals. But the app itself wasn't quite where it needed to be yet. In order to help the developers along, the FindFace app would receive an estimated $15 million from the Russian Direct Investment Fund, and another from an undisclosed
Nearly 3/4
country
there.
in the Middle East. It's the end of the workday. Imagine you're stepping outside just after your shift, before making your way down the street and into the subway. You go on board as you always do, before finding a place to sit. As the cabin starts to fill up, you put in some earbuds and casually scroll on your phone. After some time, the train comes to a halt. You stand up, grab your things, and step out into the station before an unseen surveillance camera snaps a
Like
picture
our
of
fucking
you.
flock camp.
The users with access to pictures like this are now able to identify you quickly by cross-referencing any pictures of you on social media. They're able to do this by using the newly updated version of FindFace. And it's not just in the subways. It's while you're driving on the road, taking out the trash, or simply walking to your next destination. FindFace has been integrated into the entire city's surveillance system. Though initially posed as a means of keeping people safer, the Iranian government has had other intentions for cameras such as these. I'm sure you can imagine all the sorts of nefarious ways an authoritarian government could use technologies like this. 24-hour surveillance on their streets, an in-depth catalog of each one of its citizens, their day-to-day routines, direct links to their online history, you name it.
Fucking
So,
V for Vendetta
suppose the
shit
supreme leader was
happening
killed in a country
real life
with this
right
technology.
now.
What if the government began using FindFace as a means of identifying individuals who were actively celebrating their leader's death? On February 28, 2026, the president of Iran, Ali Khamenei, was killed during a large-scale United States missile strike. In the aftermath, many Iranians took to the streets in celebration, dancing and applauding upon hearing the news of Ali's death. Little did they know, however, that they were being watched by the surveillance cameras posted in various corners of the city, the FindFace software identifying many of them. And this act of celebrating under Iranian law could send each and every one of them to prison. It's believed that
Or
the
death.
Iranian police force had chosen to adopt the Find Face software as a means of conserving their resources. Instead of sending out a large number of troops to monitor protesters, they could now instead watch from the privacy of their offices, keeping a detailed list of the identified protesters, which they would then use to track down and later arrest. From here, the force would then confiscate the arrested individual's personal items, such as their phone or computer, and extract information from them, including messages, photographs, videos, and contacts in order to identify and arrest other individuals associated with the celebrations. All of this was a calculated effort to silence anyone opposing the government's demands that the death of their leader be respected.
Fuck that.
I wish that I could say that the story of Iran and their oppressive digital surveillance sort of had a happy ending, but unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. While doing research on the arrested protesters, I actually found a number of other stories in which Iran was using the Find Face application to monitor its citizens on, not just things in terms of like the protesting and whatnot, but things as simple as whether or not women were spotted out in public wearing their mandatory hijab, which is absolutely dystopian to think about. But as it turns out, Russia and Iran are not the only countries using technology such as this to sort of weed out individuals who they, deem to be unfavorable. Because this next story is perhaps the most famous instance of a government using social media as a means of hurting its people. For most of us who use the internet on a daily basis, we are accustomed to the many freedoms that come with the World Wide Web. However, the same can be said for a number of other countries. For example, China's internet, compared to many, is heavily monitored and dominated by
They are
what
locked
people refer
the
to
fuck
as
down.
super apps. These are online platforms that serve as a hub for most of the services that China's
China's internet
people
is
use
great.
on a daily basis.
Winnie the Pooh does not
Whether
like
it be
them posting
shopping,
on other places.
direct messaging, or even
Not
digital
Chinese.
payments, these super apps provide a one-stop for users. And because all of these services are located on one platform, it makes them much easier to monitor. This doesn't even touch on the fact that China's government has something referred to as the Great Firewall, which is responsible for blocking major foreign platforms like you and I are used to using, like Google, YouTube, and most contemporary social media platforms. But China didn't stop here. In an effort to monitor the online activities of its citizens, the government created a new job entirely. The
They're
Zhenghang
like
district
social
in
credit
China,
score or
a
whatever.
seemingly average part of the city of Ganzhou. Its claim to fame is a 1,000-year-old statue of a mummified monk, but it's also known for something much more disturbing. Zhenghang is the main urban center of the city, and after a big internet leak in 2014, it was exposed for harboring a number of secret government buildings. The details of what was occurring inside these buildings are eerily similar to something we're familiar with. In China, if you are a person who likes to browse the internet, you might be interested in being hired as a full-time internet commentator. This is a legit career in which you will be paid by the authorities of the People's Republic of China to quote-unquote guide public opinion. People who are employed in this profession are often referred to as members of the 50 Cent Army, as it was believed that these internet commentators were paid roughly 50 cents for every post they made.
Not the right.
In specific,
Yes.
they were tasked with locating discussions across China's various super apps that were speaking ill of the Chinese Communist Party. Members of the 50 Cent Army would then redirect these discussions by promoting the Communist Party's narratives and accusing detractors of spreading
Oh, we're
misinformation.
getting there.
And spreading misinformation could result in
81.
detractors losing their job, receiving restrictions on travel, and, in some cases, being criminally prosecuted. A Harvard study from 2017 estimated that the army was composed of as many as 2 million people, who were ultimately responsible for roughly 488 million social media posts a year. But following the 2014 leak, everything came to a halt. To this day, not much is known about the individual responsible for exposing the 50 Cent Army to the world. The leak, which came in the form of a large archive of email correspondence from the Internet Information Office, was the public's first look at what exactly was going on within the Zhonghong district. From what I could find, there are apparently more than 2,700 emails that were leaked by the anonymous user, on top of photos and directories of the internet commentators and summaries of their work. This leak in particular even shows email correspondence between the Communist Party and one of the 50 Cent employees. Here, the government official goes under the alias of Ganzhou Yellow Dragon Jade. They go on to tell the 50 Cent employee to put emphasis on things like maintaining national unity, any act that provokes national sovereignty must be severely punished, resolutely safeguard national unity and social stability, and to maintain a high-pressure crackdown on violence and terrorism. The China Digital Times is responsible for publicly posting many of these leaks, like the ones in this video. The entire leak apparently is currently not available on any organized format, such as, I don't know, something like the Epstein files, so shout out to this website. Following the 2014 leak, the 50 Cent Army seemingly started to disappear. Despite this, there are many individuals in China who believe that the government's role in manipulating its users via social media is still around, but has turned into something else that has yet to be fully realized. In an effort to keep organizations like this from rising once again, many social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter have been removing accounts that they believe to be coordinated by a state-backed operation. Well, guys, if you made it to the end of this video,
That's
I just want to say
crazy.
thank you so much for giving me some of your time. So at the start of this year, I had the goal in mind of reaching 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're getting really close to it, and it's just a really exciting time. But if you saw this video and you watched it and you liked it and you aren't subscribed already, please consider doing so to help us get closer of that goal of 250,000 subscribers. As always, guys, please stay safe out there, and I will.
All right, cool. I like that. Good. All right, what is got for me now? Thing.
Just gotta get there, right? And these motherfuckers are jumping? Yep. Yep. Hate the jump levels. Hate the jump levels. I love the pineapples. That's gonna get nasty.
You eat that wheel, the pineapples?
Yeah.
So pretty much anything on the board, you're just gonna
Yes,
devour and
pretty
fucking
much, yes.
destroy.
There's my warp.
It's a What's up,
I just beat the game.
Evan Glare?
I just beat the game.
Jay just beat the fucking game, y'all. You seen it here first.
Hooray! Frog.
Motherfucker.
Remember
All right, there we go. Game
Frog.
beat. Still got Mario Lemieux, by the way.
All right, let's do it then. People were giving me props and shit. Hey, it was funny when Eric mentioned that you guys watch Kino Casino at the Retropalooza panel. Did you still watch it? And what are your favorite segments?
Kino Casino. Did he say we watched or he watched? Okay. Let me pee.
I'm not sure on that. He said, y'all watched, so I don't know who y'all is. It's the motherfucking Timmy T Show. What's up, guys and girls, bros, and motherfucking brosettes? How's everyone doing this lovely Saturday
Friday.
night? The chat lounge now, motherfucking open.
Friday. Friday night.
Call Eric right now. Shit, I don't know if he's awake or asleep.
'88.
Shout Out says, hey Tim, I am shit. LOL, very bad. Got dumped and my dog is passing.
Fuck.
Shadow Knight, fuck man. Let's unpack this for a second.
What's the question?
Nothing. He got dumped and his dog's passing.
Oh, shit.
Did the dog live a healthy,
Play this
happy,
song.
loved life? If it did, he's had a better life than most humans. Simple fact that
I agree.
Your ex or your old lady's dumped you, it fucking happens. I'm going through a divorce, you know. Just keep your fucking chin up, keep your head straight, and don't just fucking do you, man. Do what's best for you. Get in a safe place and stay there. David Lane, I'm doing all right. And Primpole says, I'm making some sausage and rice.
Sounds good. I need to like fucking eat something. I haven't eaten for lunch today.
Paul Planner says, drinking some hams. Shout Out says, I think so. She is 18 years out. Well, yeah, it's a long time for a fucking dog.
All right, we're at 90%. Oh god. Very, very,
It's all
very
fucking
close.
tilting back for Shadow Knight. I'll say this, bro. It gets better.
It actually doesn't.
Every day it gets just a little bit better. You might not be able to tell, but take it in a week, take it in a month. Eventually, you won't give two shits about her.
Hi, Marlon, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Not.
Yeah, you'll wake up one day and everything will just be okay.
Yeah.
Jefferson Spy Plane with the 5-ski. Play this song. Okay. Can do.
Look at that. Beat the shit out of the high score.
You know, last time we played this,
I think we have like.
you was acting fussy, wasn't it?
USA
Yes. Bartholomew has been acting
30% off your auto insurance premium every.
They stole coins on my throne.
You're right about that.
Money, success.
You're right about that. It cuts off after the first period.
Now, unknown, you claim to have sold more records than Elvis and
Maybe that's why people aren't picking it.
Is that a fact? Elvis and them Beatles never worked in a record store. Yeah. I done it for a whole year when I was younger. And them we sold real records back then.
Yeah. No.
Not
No.
CDs.
I'm
CD
Chicago.
records.
I think you picked. You found yourself a really good Montreal's. No.
It don't look like a record.
like
It's like a
Montreal.
little
Okay.
steel saw
You picked
player.
yourself a team that's better
Records
than
is big and
Chicago
round.
than
Well, look at why.
Boston.
Got a big old record jacket
Chicago.
there with a picture of the artist on it. And the public, you know, they'll forget. That's right. Fans will forget you if you ain't around making records and movies and doing your show dates. And I want to remind all my fans that I'm back in action, baby. I feel good. I look good.
What up, Sean Barry?
I'm a charge
Cheers for all the
baby.
fallen soldiers. Exactly.
Got to take the bad with the good. Yeah, I used to work in the circus when I was a younger, you know. Yeah, I done 7 shows a day. It was my job to get out of a straitjacket, you know. And that skill helped me out a whole lot later on in life.
Bullshit.
Records is the way mankind's supposed to listen to music. Read your Bible.
Doing this already?
Yeah. Damn straight.
How the fuck do you have so much more fucking energy than mine? Shit. Jam on it.
Jump on it. Jump on it.
No, wrong song.
Oh, my bad.
Hockey guy, you still here? No pauses, no nothing. Let's just go.
Let's go. Straight through, dude.
Hopefully we can avoid it. Fucker.
Oh, shit.
Get the fuck up!
Get the
Go
fuck
in,
in there, dude. Are you kidding me, dude?
What fucking shoots?
Ain't
shoots,
nobody
A
on
shoots.
right.
C checks.
Not even me.
Wiki.
Actually, A checks. C choose switches the player.
Oh, this is way different than I thought.
Yeah, no shit. A lot more skill, right? Ooh, you fucking bitch, dude.
Before. Okay. What's wrong with the column?
What the fuck ever, dude.
What up, Bannister Leo?
I should have like 4 fucking goals on you already.
Bullshit.
Bull true?
Bullshit. Go steal my fucking work.
Sounds like Soldier Boy on.
My mama gave me a brand new toy. 2 turntables with a mic, and I learned to rock like a Dolomite. Time went by on this God creation. I knew someday I would rock the nation, so I made up my mind just what to do. And I joined with the
Haven't been up here
production
yet.
crew. So go crazy, go crazy. Don't let your body be lazy. I said don't stop the body rock till your eyesight starts to get hazy. Clean out your ears and you open your eye. If you want to hear the music, just come alive.
All right.
If you don't know how, get ready to learn. Cause Cosmo's taking his turn to burn. Take a seat and no in the seat and the AMO and the freaky D and the funky beat. And then what do you see? It's Cosmo D. Yeah, baby, that's me. I got the beat that's oh so sweet. Without me rocking this in. So
fucking ROMs just suck all of a sudden?
Maybe we need another one? I don't know.
Fucking no.
No, fuck it. 0-0. Come on.
No, we're gonna do it. We know how to do it.
Yeah. Have to redo it or some shit.
God damn it. Come on.
Oh, shit. Alright.
Shit.
Got a pretty good robot. Can't hop and lop, though. And a one.
What the fuck?
Did he clean it? Oh, no. Yeah, I think he might need to clean it, bro. What the fuck? Something happened.
We rock this bed with a 12-inch cut for disco kryptonite. When Superman looked up at me, he said, "You rock so naturally." I said, "Now that you've learned the deal, let me tell you why I'm so for real. I'm Cosmo D from outer space. I can do rock the human race. I do it right.
97. Still have that part of that sign left. I think that's like the biggest part.
Can't even get the fucking... Try to get your brothers to play retro games with you and they won't play with you. Yikes, David. Maybe you should,
Whoop their ass. Hide their toys.
way nicer than what I was about to say, but yeah. Hide their toys, is that what she said?
Yeah. Let's do
Fight,
it, dude.
fight!
Fight, fight.
Right. So close.
Jay has the worm locked. You're not wrong, dude.
Shit. Not convinced I've done the worm.
Big perm.
It's been a long motherfucking time.
Long motherfucking time. Power play. Power play.
Ruffin, motherfucker.
Who, me? Who, me?
Who, you? Yeah, you.
Ain't no way.
Then who?
My start button doesn't work on this controller.
You don't need to. It doesn't need to.
Just remember, if you don't, if you win by an inch or a mile, winning's winning.
It's facts. But
Ooh,
okay.
nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Fuck. I'll go at the end of the period.
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 God damn it.
Fucking hockey fan here. What the fuck his handle is?
For 99.
Fuck him.
Why fuck hockey guy?
Because he don't believe in me.
They don't believe in you.
Fucking bastard.
No!
Dude.
Seriously? What the fuck, man? I should take Tim out for a game hunting video. How do you know I have an art grant? Saying.
Speaking of,
99.
Much love, thumbs up, full score, Big J.
let's do it.
Fuck you.
Come on, dude.
Ah.
I don't even stand a fucking chance against that.
Okay. Now what?
You have to pause it if you need to pause. I can't.
Nah, I'm alright. God damn it, Guns. What's up with the 50? Much love? Question mark? Big J?
Gosh.
Nah. No question, for sure. All the fucking loves. How you doing, man?
Fuck!
Oh, fuck me. Sorry.
Alright, alright. No, okay.
What is up, Guns?
Fucking.
Sorry, I'm trying to fucking...
I got called out. So this means a lot. What's his name? Hockey
guy.
Hockey bum?
Hockey bum? I bet he'd whoop your ass.
Bullshit.
What the fuck was that?
That's that triple D, bro.
Okay.
It's not a fucking triple D.
I mean,
That's not a triple D. You know what triple D means? It means
Yeah.
3 fakes, asshole. Triple dink. I just shot it.
there you go again, motherfuckers. Keep talking shit. Keep talking shit. What was that? 3 fakes? Was that a triple D?
No, it wasn't.
Alright, keep talking shit. That's all I'm
wasn't.
saying.
It wasn't. Years ago, I used to watch the Rocket League and Battlefront videos all the time. Why were they removed? Were they removed? I don't know. It's a great question, actually. I don't know. I've had some things happen over the years. Videos get removed unexplainedly. Also, videos get removed and
Oh, it was that.
So there's that.
Ooh. Fight.
Okay. Alright. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Keep punching. Keep punching.
Don't fucking look at me, Peckerhead.
I didn't look at you, I looked at the chat.
Good. Don't fucking look at
You
me.
can do that eye tracking shit. I looked at the
Don't
chat.
fucking look at me.
I'm not gonna look at you.
You just fucking looked at me.
Shut up.
Fucking Peckerwood.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. Fucking Peck.
Peck. Oh yeah, Peck.
Did I
Oh
stutter?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, the drum.
Bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Don't breathe.
Yeah.
Don't breathe.
Let's go, bitch.
I'm right.
What do we need? First floor
Here I am.
I
light?
think there was a problem with that button. Someone fucking fucked something up.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Oh, you better hurry, bro. Give me one. Fuck it. Said don't worry about his shit, right?
Roof trim. Okay, done.
Cheating ass.
You,
Oh,
where's
cheating
my
ass.
ass?
Fuck you, where's mine at? I didn't even get in there for enough fucking time to get mine. Go, run, go, run.
Nah.
Run, rabbit, run. Fuck. Yeah, look at it.
I would not trust that ladder at all.
Move. Fuck you. What up, Moosehead? What up, Imprint Paul?
Okay. Damn, so many little and tiny pieces of shit.
Guns, give us a game, song, both, two, something, man.
Oh.
What?
True.
If that's rough, that means if that's rough, you're a
power
pussy.
play. Hold on now.
If that's rough, you're a pussy.
Come on.
Fuck off. Eat shit, fuckstick. Really? Fucking 3 shots on goal just like that? The fuck out of here.
Okay. Ooh, that's hard to get.
Come on now.
Nice breakaway.
God damn, there's so many. Second floor balcony wall.
So it don't matter. Fuck cunt.
Okay. Three more.
Fucking that up.
Sign planter bed. Rear roof trim.
Ooh, come the fuck on.
Second floor rear vent.
Breakaway. That was
A
almost
dirty gator. Damn, that was a long one. Fuck. Ooh, that was a big job.
What the actual fuck? You better.
I'll be right back.